My child, listen carefully, because this moment has been ordained long before you recognize the need for it. I have been guiding your steps even when you felt unsure. I have been strengthening you even when you felt weak. And I have been clearing paths ahead of you that you could not yet see. There were days when you questioned your purpose, nights when doubt whispered lies to your heart, and seasons when waiting felt heavier than moving. But understand this: every pause carried intention, every delay carried instruction, and every closed door carried protection. You were never standing still. You were being positioned. What you endured was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to reveal what was already placed within you: resilience, wisdom, discernment, and faith. You did not lose time. You gained depth. You did not fall behind. You were refined quietly away from distractions, so that when you rise with clarity, not confusion. You rise with authority, not fear. You rise with peace, not desperation. The tears you shed were not wasted. They watered the ground of what is about to grow. The prayers you thought went unheard were recorded and answered in ways you could not imagine. I know how hard it was to keep believing when results were slow. I know how lonely it felt to walk a path others did not understand, but separation was necessary, because what I am bringing into your life requires focus and alignment, not noise, not doubt, not compromise. You are entering a season where things will begin to shift internally. First, your mindset will change, your confidence will return, your faith will feel lighter, and then circumstances will follow. Because transformation always begins within. Stop replaying what went wrong. Stop carrying regret for decisions that taught you lessons, and stop underestimating how far you have already come. You survived what you once thought would break you, and that alone is evidence of my hand over your life. The same power that carried you through confusion will carry you into clarity. The same grace that sustained you in lack will multiply you in abundance. Do not fear the responsibility of what you asked for. You are being prepared to handle it wisely. What is coming will require discipline, humility, and trust. But you will not walk into it unprepared. I am sharpening your discernment, so you recognize what aligns and what distracts. I am strengthening your spirit, so you do not fold under pressure. And I am opening your understanding, so you no longer settle for less than what you were created to receive. Very soon you will look back and realize that what felt like a setback was a setup. What felt like silence was instruction, and what felt like loss was release, to make room for better connections. Greater opportunities and deeper peace. Remain patient, remain obedient, and remain open, because I am about to move suddenly in areas you stopped expecting movement. Do not give up now. Do not lower your standards now, and do not lose faith at the edge of fulfillment. What you have been believing for is closer than it appears, and what you have been preparing for is preparing to meet. You trust me fully, even when you cannot trace every step, because I am leading you somewhere you have never been, but where you truly belong, because deep within you something has already begun to awaken, even if you have not fully named it. Yet there is a quiet shift happening, a sacred realignment taking place, where your thoughts no longer tolerate what once drained you and your spirit. No longer agrees with what once limited you. This is not coincidence. This is growth unfolding gently yet firmly. You are learning to listen differently, to discern what is truly meant for you, and to release what only occupied space without purpose. The old patterns are losing their grip because you are no longer the same person who once accepted them. You have been stretched beyond comfort so that your capacity could expand, and what once overwhelmed you will soon feel manageable because strength has been added without noise. You are stepping into a phase where clarity replaces confusion and certainty replaces constant questioning. You will notice how your reactions change, how your patience deepens, and how your boundaries become clearer. This is evidence that transformation is active even when results are still forming. Do not underestimate these internal changes, because they are the foundation of everything visible that is about to follow. You are being trained to recognize alignment over attachment and peace over pressure. There were lessons that could only be learned through endurance and wisdom that could only be gained through experience. And now those lessons are becoming tools, not wounds. The past no longer has authority to define you. It only serves as reference for how far you have come and how much you have grown. You are not rebuilding from nothing. You are building from experience, and that gives you an advantage. You did not realize you had. What is coming will require you to Trust your discernment even when others doubt your direction, because not everyone will understand the path that was revealed only to you. You were given insight not to explain yourself to everyone, but to move with confidence and quiet obedience there. Will be moments ahead where progress feels slow again, but this time you will not panic, because you will recognize the rhythm. You will understand that not every season is meant for acceleration. Some are meant for stabilization and strengthening. You are learning to move without rushing and to wait without anxiety. And this balance will protect you from unnecessary mistakes. What once felt like pressure to prove yourself is fading, because you are realizing that validation is not required when purpose is clear. You are allowed to grow without announcing it. You are allowed to change without explaining it. And you are allowed to protect your energy without guilt. The future you are stepping into will demand discernment more than speed, and consistency more than intensity. You are being prepared to sustain what you once only dreamed of receiving, and sustainability requires wisdom, maturity, and patience. You are not late to your calling. You arrived exactly when your character could support it, and very soon circumstances will begin to align with the internal work that has already been done. Opportunities will emerge, conversations will open, and paths will become visible where there once seemed to be walls. And when this happens, remember to move with humility, because elevation is safest when pride is absent. You will not need to compete, because what is meant for you cannot be taken by someone else, and what is not meant for you cannot satisfy you. You are learning the value of peace over chaos and alignment over force. This understanding will guide you correctly in moments of decision and moments of uncertainty. Trust the process that shaped you. Trust the growth that grounded you, and trust the direction that is unfolding step by step. Even now, as you read these words, something within you is being reassured, something within you is being strengthened, and something within you is being reminded that you are supported, guided, and watched over more closely than you realize. This journey is far from over, and what lies ahead will require courage, but you will not lack it, because it has already been formed within you. Moving forward without fully realizing how much strength has already been deposited within you. Your journey has quietly reshaped you in ways that words struggle to capture, and yet every step, every hesitation, every moment of endurance has added depth to who you are becoming. You are no longer reacting from fear, but responding from awareness. And this shift alone changes everything. You are beginning to recognize that not every battle requires a response, and not every opportunity requires acceptance. Discernment is growing sharper because experience has trained your spirit to pause before acting and to listen before deciding. This wisdom did not come easily. It was earned through moments when you had to choose patience over impulse and faith over frustration. And now that wisdom is becoming your anchor, you are learning how to remain steady even when circumstances feel uncertain. And this steadiness will soon attract the kind of outcomes that instability never could. There is a quiet confidence forming within you, not loud, not boastful, but grounded, and this confidence will guide you into spaces where you no longer feel the need to prove your worth, because you understand it internally. You are being prepared to walk into environments that once intimidated you with calm assurance, because you have learned that presence speaks louder than performance. What you carry now cannot be shaken easily, because it was formed under pressure and refined through persistence. You are no longer easily discouraged by delays, because you understand timing more deeply. You recognize that some things unfold only when all elements are aligned, and forcing movement too early would only compromise the outcome. So you are learning to trust the pace, even when your desires urge you forward. You are discovering the power of stillness, not as stagnation, but as preparation. And this stillness is teaching you clarity, teaching you restraint, and teaching you how to conserve energy for what truly matters. Soon you will notice how certain distractions naturally fall away, not because you fought them, but because they no longer resonate with who you are becoming. Your priorities are shifting, and with them your definition of success is evolving. You are beginning to value peace, consistency, and purpose over validation, urgency, and approval. This evolution will protect you from paths that look appealing but lack substance, and it will guide you toward choices that may require patience but offer long-term fulfillment. You are being shaped to build something that lasts, not something that impresses briefly. And this distinction will matter greatly in the season ahead, unfolding gradually, yet with unmistakable purpose. You may not see the full picture yet, but you are beginning to sense that something meaningful is aligning beneath the surface of your daily life. There is a quiet assurance settling into your spirit, reminding you that chaos does not define your future and uncertainty does not cancel your calling. You are learning that faith is not the absence of questions, but the decision to move forward despite them. And this decision is reshaping your inner world. You are becoming more intentional with your thoughts, more selective with your energy, and more honest with yourself about what truly matters. This honesty is powerful because it removes illusions and replaces them with clarity. You are no longer chasing what only looks impressive. You are choosing what feels purposeful, and this shift will save you years of unnecessary struggle. The process you are in is teaching you how to listen inwardly rather than reacting outwardly, and this internal alignment is becoming your greatest strength. You are starting to notice that peace now guides your choices more than urgency, and this peace is not passive, it is grounded, confident, and discerning. You are learning that saying no can be just as faithful as saying yes. When no protects your growth and preserves your focus, there is maturity forming in the way you approach challenges. You are no longer overwhelmed by resistance because you understand that resistance often appears just before expansion, and instead of retreating, you are learning to remain steady, to observe, to adjust, and to continue. This steadiness is building trust within yourself, and that trust will soon reflect outwardly in how others respond to you. Your presence is becoming more grounded, your words more measured, and your actions more intentional, because growth has refined your approach. You're beginning to realize that alignment does not require force, and progress does not require constant struggle. Sometimes, progress unfolds through consistency, through small, faithful steps repeated daily, and this understanding will allow you to move forward without burning out. You are learning how to pace yourself because what you are building is meant to last, and longevity requires balance, discipline, and rest. You are being trained to sustain blessings, not just receive them, and this training is essential because the season ahead will bring opportunities that test your ability to remain centered. You will be presented with choices that look similar on the surface, but feel very different internally. And learning to trust that inner guidance will be crucial. You are not meant to take every path, only the one aligned with your purpose and alignment will. Always feel peaceful, even when it stretches you. There will be moments when fear attempts to resurface, reminding you of past disappointments. But awareness will interrupt those patterns because you now recognize that the past no longer has authority. Over your decisions, you are allowed to move forward without carrying old definitions of failure. You are allowed to redefine success based on growth, fulfillment, and impact rather than comparison or speed. This redefinition will free you from unnecessary pressure and allow you to enjoy the journey rather than rushing through it. You are learning that fulfillment is not found at the finish line alone, but also in the integrity of how you walk the path. You are developing resilience that is not loud, but reliable strength that does not seek attention, but sustains you quietly. And this kind of strength will carry you through seasons of responsibility, influence, and expansion. You are being shaped to lead your own life with wisdom rather than impulse. And this leadership begins internally with discipline, self-awareness, and alignment. As these qualities deepen, your external circumstances will begin to mirror them, because order within creates order around you. The season approaching will require you to trust your preparation. Even when outcomes are still forming, you will be tempted to doubt progress because growth often happens invisibly before it becomes evident. But remember, roots grow in darkness before trees stand tall, and what is forming within you now will support everything that rises through you. Later, you are not starting from nothing. You are continuing from growth accumulated through perseverance, reflection, and endurance. And this accumulation gives you stability that cannot be easily shaken. You are learning to value substance over speed, depth over display, and meaning over momentum. And these values will guide you correctly when excitement threatens to override wisdom. Stay attentive to this inner guidance because it is leading you accurately step by step into spaces that match who you are becoming, not who you used to be. Reshaping the way you understand movement and meaning at the same time. Because this chapter is not about rushing forward or standing still, but about learning how to move with awareness. You are discovering that life does not unfold in straight lines, but in layers, and each layer reveals something different about who you are becoming. There was a time when you measured progress only by visible results, but now you are learning to recognize internal alignment as progress itself. This realization is changing how you experience waiting, how you interpret silence, and how you respond to uncertainty, you are beginning to sense that every season carries a specific instruction, and missing the lesson delays the transition. This is why you are being invited to slow your reactions and sharpen your perception. You are no longer being shaped through intensity alone, but through understanding. And this understanding is teaching you how to navigate complexity without losing peace. You are learning how to remain centered even when circumstances shift around you. And this centering is becoming your anchor, because storms lose power. When you stop fighting them and start reading them, you are developing the ability to observe without panic, to adjust without self-criticism, and to continue without exhaustion. This ability will define your next level more than talent or effort ever could, because sustainability is born from balance, and you are learning balance now. You are discovering that strength is not always loud, and courage is not always dramatic. Sometimes strength looks like consistency, and courage looks like choosing again after disappointment. You are learning how to recommit without bitterness, and how to hope without denial. This maturity is forming quietly, yet it will soon influence every decision you make. Your perspective is expanding, and with it, your tolerance for shallow distractions is shrinking. You no longer feel fulfilled by what once occupied your attention, because your inner world is demanding substance. You are becoming more selective, not out of fear, but out of clarity, and clarity simplifies life. It narrows your focus to what truly matters and releases you from chasing everything else. You are learning that alignment creates ease even when effort is required, and misalignment creates exhaustion, even when success appears close. This awareness will protect you from paths that look promising but feel draining. You're being trained to listen to the signals within you, the subtle resistance, the quiet peace, the inner hesitation, the gentle confirmation. These signals are not random, they are refined through experience and reflection, and honoring them will save you time, energy, and regret. You are entering a phase where responsibility will increase, not because you are being burdened, but because you are being trusted. And trust is earned through consistency, integrity, and patience, qualities that have been forming in you through unseen moments. This season has not been about recognition, it has been about preparation. And preparation often happens away from applause. You are learning how to show up without external motivation, how to remain disciplined without immediate reward, and how to stay committed without constant reassurance. This independence will serve you well, because the road ahead will require self-leadership more than external direction. You're being invited to lead your own life with intention, rather than reacting to circumstances, and this leadership begins with awareness of your patterns, your triggers, and your values. You are becoming more honest with yourself, and this honesty is dissolving illusions that once kept you stuck. You are no longer blaming circumstances or waiting for perfect conditions. You are learning how to work with what is available while trusting what is unfolding. This adaptability is a form of wisdom, and wisdom creates momentum without force. You are discovering that growth does not always feel like expansion. Sometimes it feels like refinement, like subtraction, like letting go. And these phases are just as important, because they remove what cannot accompany you forward. You are being lightened, not deprived, and understanding this will help you release without resentment. The future you are moving toward will require clarity, focus, and emotional stability. And these are being developed now through daily choices, small adjustments, and quiet perseverance. You are not being rushed, because what you are becoming needs time to integrate fully. And rushing would only fracture the foundation being laid. You are allowed to grow at a pace that honors depth rather than speed, and this permission will free you from comparison and unnecessary pressure. Your journey is not meant to mirror anyone else's, because your purpose is specific and your preparation is customized. You are learning how to trust your timing even when it differs from expectations, and this trust will keep you grounded when opportunities arise suddenly, because they will, and when they do, your readiness will matter more than your excitement. Remain attentive, remain flexible, and remain rooted, because everything you are experiencing now is contributing to the stability of what is coming next.